Hi, people. I hope all is well with you as it is with me on this evening, lovely evening. And I come to put my 2 cents in on the whole situation with Amber and her cross and her perjury, all the lies, and how dare she expect us to how dare she even put a story before us with no proof, no evidence, no real concrete evidence? This lady took pictures of everything insignificant, but didn't pay attention to the major thing. And those are the major things of her story, which is the bruises, the cuts, and all other medical emergency issues that she claims happened within her story, but has not delivered. She hasn't delivered it. Any one shred of evidence. And then, but in her mind, she has. But it's like an altered reality. It's like we're dealing with an altered reality. Hold on a second. It's like we're really dealing with an altered reality because we're dealing with the altered person. And when I see Amber, when I see the way she moves and everything, it's giving off to me a gray alien vibe. So much. But let's get into the heart of things, what I made this title for, which is Amber Insults Intelligence. She insults the word intelligence. How does she insult the word intelligence? She insults the word intelligence because she expects within her story for us to believe that a man of Johnny Depp's caliber, a man who has had 14-year, 25-year relationships and has made so many blockbuster movies, would go and do such things that she says he done to only to tarnish his own reputation, and that he would allow a weasel as she to be the one to do so, that he would stoop so low. We are supposed to believe this, that he would stoop so low and allow a weasel like her to be the one to make him the face of domestic violence. She would have us believe, also, that's from a man's point of view, a man of a caliber, um, from the DV, domestic violence victims aspect of things, how she insults that aspects of things, is she would have us believe that a woman would literally, although some do, but those who do stay in those relationships, usually, if it's really bad off, they don't survive unless they leave. I grew up in a domestic violence home, but our situation was a little bit different. It was a little bit unique. I was traumatized over having to deal with that DV in the home and having to see it. I wanted my mom to leave many times. But let me tell you, it's a class thing we're talking about here. It really isn't a class thing, but class plays a big, huge part. And a lot of times people grow up who grew up in abusive homes strive for better and strive not to become an abuser like the mom or like the mom or the mother. I mean, like the father or the mother. Sorry about that. So you make that decision in your mind that you're not going to be like your mother or your father. But still, anything you deal with in life that is tragic, that is abusive, it leaves a mark. It leaves a mark. Well, anyway, she would have us believe have us to believe that a woman, well, she's not, that's the reason why I say class is because a woman who never worked in her life, limited education, and is totally dependent upon a man to take care of them, those are the type of women who end up getting stuck in a relationship and codependent and dependent upon their abuser for survivalhood. And it's very, very hard for those type of women to come out of those relationships. I'm back. It's hard for them to leave the relationship financially. They think they can't leave financially. So what Amber is telling telling us, and I don't think she intends to tell us this. I don't think she intentionally is saying this, but it's awkward for a woman, a career woman, an educated woman would say, hell no. A balanced woman, a sound woman would never let it. Day one, she would not have a boyfriend girlfriend relationship with him at the first smack. She just wouldn't. She just wouldn't. She wouldn't have no reason. The only reason a woman would allow a man to smack her around or stay in a relationship like that is if she's dependent upon the man's lifestyle and money. And I don't think she means to tell her herself like this. Because when we look at it from a man's point of view, what man of his caliber would risk his reputation for her? For her. When he in his past, he's had women, long relationships, and none of his women could never say that he was abusive towards them. So along comes Amber and accusations with no evidence. She would rather take a picture of him sleeping instead of a picture of her bruised up body. It insults the word intelligent on so many levels. But the pictures that she showed in court do not show any signs of being beat to death with fists of a man with rings on his finger. The next day, following the so-called rape with the bottle, she was doing modern dance, kicking the legs up in the air and all this stuff. You get raped by a bottle, you could barely move. It would be excruciating pain, and you would know it that you were raped because the ambulance would have to take you. It would be more serious than what she's made things out to be. Pain would be more she makes pain would be unbearable. She has no reason to stay in that relationship. She had no reason on day 1 to start a relationship with this man. She could have said, "I'm out." Because you would assumed that she was smart, educated, and had her own Hollywood career, movie career. You would assume, but she wanted to stick around and get close to a man who she alleges smacked her, did some things that she just couldn't stand, like drugs and alcohol. She said her female lover required her to not do drugs. I repeat, she said her female lover set boundaries in the relationship and did not want her to be doing drugs in the relationship. So she didn't. She said, according to what Amber Heard Word Turd said. She didn't learn nothing from that relationship. Because if we are to intelligently engage her in her world of truths, we can't we cannot make it we cannot make it make sense. It's beyond our reality. But somewhere in up how do I say in a altered reality somewhere out there amongst grays, because grays, I say grays because her head moves a lot. Her head moves like the grays do, like their head moves really a lot when they get interrogated. It just moves. So she moves that head the same way like a gray would. So basically, like I said, and she's in her mind, it's her truth somehow. But she loves the violence. She loves the arguments, the fights. It seems like she's hooked on fight, 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 fight. No one can live like that. No one can live with fight, fight, fight all the time. And Johnny, I just think he needed to put his foot down and get her and her parasite friends out of his place. Because that's all she brought was parasites. This has been probably a good thing for Johnny Depp. I say because it'll show him to be more cautious of the type of people he allows in his circle. Because he had someone that worked for him with his money, and they took advantage and stole all his money. Then he had this woman who he thought was going to be real, becoming an illusion, a nightmare, a delusion. And we, I talked about this before. I touched on this, how your relationship may not be real. You might be in that space. I've been, how do I say, disillusioned. I've been disillusioned and really thought that something was that it wasn't. And this happens to us because our minds, but we learn from it. That's the whole thing. We have to learn to be able to look at the signs or what's going on in that situation or that relationship to know what makes this real. I have to talk to myself and say, what makes this real? Because he thought he was in love with a make-believe person that she made up for him. Yeah, Amber doesn't want to learn. She will not learn. You're right. She will not learn because she does not want to learn from this. She does not want to learn from this. So therefore she won't. But she won't because she also doesn't want to admit to her sickness, her illness. And when you don't uh, accept your truth and the limits that it holds, how can you move on? How can part of learning is you get to move on from that. So people like this get stuck, become stagnant, and can't move on, can't grow. They they'll do the same thing over and over again. They'll repeat the same thing over and over again. And she was making Johnny stagnant. But good on Johnny that he got out. He had his last straw and he got out. She had to jump to the occasion, but publicly make it seem like she was getting out. But that was meant to happen. That was She didn't want that to happen like that. That was an intervention. That was a divine intervention that had happened for Johnny. In case y'all didn't see it, when he mentioned the word divorce, she got jumped up and went out, and she meant to make him public anyway. So, and did what she did before he could do what he did. For somebody that's been through the hell that Johnny Depp went through, that's a ray of sunshine when she made that move in a way. Because that got the ball rolling for him. That gave him a break from the fight to regather himself, to heal. It may look bad, like they say, some things look bad, but look at the brighter side of it. Look at you go through these things, but they happen for a reason. They get the worst for a reason. They get the worst for a purpose, to jump you back on path, to put you right back on your path. So that's what's happening to Johnny. I mean, granted, he's lost some fights, but he kept on being determined. Determination got him here today to win. His determination got him standing up. And that's what it takes to get through, is that determination. You said he hasn't even looked. Mm. I'm sounding like a spaceship. Yeah. The man who tried to harm me, I couldn't even look at him. I couldn't look at him either. I couldn't look at him. That's normal for the victims, for those who were victimized. You just don't want to see him ever. But of course, Amber's comfortable with staring people down because she's the aggressor. She's the aggressor. The aggressor should never have a problem looking at people. You know, I was abused just by looking. Just by looking. Babysitter got mad at me because I saw something I shouldn't have saw. And they had this thing, because she had a teenage daughter too. They had this thing where my punishment was not to look anywhere, not to look at them. So it was just mean, cold, and it made me fearful. It made me fearful as a child, you know? And so I can understand those moments. Those moments. I got through it. I got over that. Fearing that I would be punished if I looked at something, at someone. Because you have to look at it because it's important. It's called being a part of your being aware of your surroundings. But that gave me a complex. And he's been abused. So, this nutcracker uh, expected him. He was doing it sounded like he was doing the best he could. He was doing better than her. And a couple of audios, he was more rational than she was. He was way rational than she was. But she's running around talking about, I got to take care of this person. I got to be the intervention. When it's all along her going psycho and going crazy over little petty stuff, her insecurities. She had so many insecurities. Any woman would be satisfied with a relationship with Johnny Depp. So she's the only one who can't, just enjoy, be happy, be happy. Because, I mean, she had it all. She had it all. Yes, he is a gentleman, and he would not have left. That's the thing. I'm talking about the caliber of man. The caliber. That's what I had to learn. You don't go high road and 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 want to be low road. That's the problem. That's the problem. When you going on that high road, you got to select. You got to say, I deserve the best of the best. And you got to, as a woman, we don't look. See, for one thing, we get found. We don't look. We just happen to be in those right places at the right time that destiny has destined us to be in. But we're the ones who have the mind of the selection. We can say yay or nay. Yay or nay. We have to make decisions. But we keep our options open. We don't limit ourselves ever. As a woman, we have to do this. We can't just say because this man has this and this and that, you mark down this man has this and this and that he's bringing to the table. This other man has this and this and that also. So you have a large selection of great men, right? Because you're high-minded. You want the best. You feel like you deserve the best because you are the best, right? You don't settle for less than what you want in anything. In anything, if you want to be happy. In anything. I don't care what it is. You get yourself the best of what you want to be happy for yourself. That means that person has to treat you with the utmost respect and bring the best your way. This is how you're going to be happy. You're not going to be happy making that list and seeing, oh, he's a famous movie star, he's got money, but he smacks me around. I'm going to look over that. He's got money because you're there for the money. That's what you're saying. You're there for the other things, but you don't value what you really need. So you're there for the wrong reasons, and that's not your path. That's not the mate that you're supposed to be with. But you made the wrong decision in your mind. When you looked at the list, you accepted the lower level things. That's what Johnny did. He accepted a lower level of things. He didn't get the best woman. Because I think somewhere he didn't feel like he deserved that. Maybe from his abuse from, when he was growing up from his mother. Maybe that scarred a little bit. That he was going to overlook the lower things that were going on with this girl and tried to help her. They both want to fix each other. Amber wanted to control him, but he wanted to fix her or help her. But, when you look at it, you should want more than just to help somebody. You would want somebody that can help themselves as well. You don't want somebody who's going to be codependent upon you. To get that healthy relationship. And that's why I said she can say she wanted nothing, but her actions says she wanted something. Her actions, she doesn't see that her whole actions, see the word intelligence, it's insulted, family. The word intelligence is insulted. You can say all day long, I didn't want his money, but you're the one, she's worried about tax break. No one told her that because the money's in her name, the money is hers. Even if Johnny did send it straight to the places she donated to, she pledged to, she would still get the tax break because the state of California is, when you get a divorce settlement, it's non taxable. When you donate it, anytime you donate anything, if it's in your name, and it would have been in her name still, she would have automatically gotten that tax break. But she told on herself, and I'm surprised they don't look deeper into that, because right there it tells that she did want more. She wasn't educated about the finances, about taxes. She thinks pledging is the same as buying a house. When it's totally entirely two different things. So Amber would have us to think, but it's not true, because good night. Good night. I'm going to get off in a minute. It's not true because it's harder. The older you get in Hollywood, the harder things, it's the harder it becomes. So she hit Johnny Depp when things are good for him. In a time when things are good for him. He doesn't have no problems with that. But I say she intentionally seeked him to destroy him. That's what I think about the whole situation. And it's evident. It's clearly evident that she did it to decimate his whole legacy. And he's going to be the victor. He's going to be the victor in all of this. So tomorrow we might wake up, because I don't know what's going on with the situation. She committed perjury in so many levels, especially with the makeup. She said this is the bruise kit. She pointed out to the jury the bruise kit. So, and showed them how to match up. She literally told the jury how to match up the colors to get a bruise color and get it to transition from day to day, what you would expect a bruise to look like from day to day. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. She literally told them that. She literally told them that. So with that said, family. Oh, I see a man walking in the background thing. I didn't see people walking in the. Always remember, true love, real peace, and the higher self within us, the soul. Peace, family. Good night.